All right, guys. My name is Alberto, aka Destroyer for the aka Subscribe for Food, aka Subscribe for Nuts, haha. Aka I have a trillion channels, aka I'm the ghost of the most. Doesn't make any damn sense, but it sounds pretty good. Pretty damn good. Um, Finally, I'm gonna do my movie review on Death Proof. Um, it's a 2007 movie. I believe it was directed by Quentin Tarantino. And I didn't put any props in the back because I really want to focus on this film. And let's. I'm gonna do this, and I have very pet peeves on timing and when I want to do it. So let's just jump into it to the movie, the 2007 Death Proof, directed by Quentin Tarantino. All right. It starts off in Austin, Texas, where in the beginning you show it that Shanna, also known as Shanna Banana, and Jungle Julia. I'm sorry, Shanna Banana and Arlene. They're gonna pick up Jungle Julia at her apartment, and it shows they parked, and you see Shanna walking, and you see Arlene like she has her fingers in her private section over her pants, going to the apartment like she needs to go pee. She needs to go urinate. I guess is a better way to say it. She has her fingers there. I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I'm not a female, obviously, but I asked my wife, "Hey, is that possible for a female to put her fingers in her private area in over her pants? I'm saying, and try to stop herself from urinating?" My wife's like, "No, that's not the way it's done. I think she would have just urinated herself. It doesn't help. Even if I don't want to get into it. Let's just. I'm just saying I don't buy it. Let's just leave it as that. And Julia, that's shown her in her apartment doing pot and looking out the window, and she and herself are doing pot. She gets up and looks out the window when she knows that Arlene and Shannon are gonna come get her. They come get her, and they're all three in the car, and Shanna's driving. Arlene's in the passenger seat. Jungle Julia's like with her feet outside, laying down in the back seat, and they're talking about that they're gonna, what they're gonna do that night. Um, they're talking about Queros. They're gonna have drinks over there. They're talking about guys. They're talking about some guy Arlene is seeing, and it seems like Arlene has came from out of town. I'm talking about weed, who they're gonna score weed from, and stuff like that. So they end up going to a bar called Queros, and they're talking and drinking, and then they meet up with a friend named Marcy. Marcy comes to come join them at a table, and Marcy brings up calling Arlie Butterfly, and then they're like, "Shh, don't say anything." And then Arlene's like, "What did you do? What did you guys do to me?" And um, then Jungle Julia says, we're gonna say what's gonna happen, but let's have our friend Marcy here. That's an actress, a really good actress. Do the same with you, whatever. And end up doing a scene where Marcy's pretending to be some random guy that knows uh, Julia. That Julia's known as Butterfly. And by the way, what she did was she mentioned Arlene. I don't know how, but Arlene's gonna be known as Butterfly, and we were like, kind of like, we're hanging out, come mention her as Butterfly, and then they act out the scene that Jungle Julia said any guy that says his line is like the woods are nice and deeply whatever. I don't know. I don't remember the line. That if any random guy has heard this on the radio, says this to Butterfly that Butterfly, aka Arlene's gonna have to give him a lap dance. It's just a little joke they're playing on Arlene. Marcy acts it out. She's like, "I'm Barry," and she's like, they're talking, but for some reason talking about Jungle Julia's ass. And I hope I don't get in trouble with YouTube. But he's like, Jungle Julia, she has a she has a black girl's ass. And then Arlene goes, "No, she don't have a black girl's ass. She has a big ass." And then Jungle Julia's like, "Okay, what are you doing?" It's like Arlene's like, who wants to get to the point all of a sudden? And Jungle Julia says, "Well, just so you could know, my ass, a lot of white men and a whole lot of black men like my ass. I have the bite marks on my butt to prove it." I'm like, okay. Well, anyways, so Marcy finishes her acting thing and saying, putting in the scenario that Arlene's gonna have to do a lap dance for anybody that mentions her name, Butterfly, and says that line, the words are the woods are dark and deep and whatever. Miles to go and miles to sleep, something like Butterfly. Okay, so that's the thing. If anybody during that day or night mentions that to Arlene, they gotta do a lap dance. She needs to do a lap dance for him. So they get out of Cuero's and they're gonna head out to the bar, some other bar, and but by the way, at this point in time, there's already this guy that's following them in a Dodge car or something, a black one that has a skull on the on the hood. Somebody is already following them, and it's some dude with a scar in his eyes that's stalking them, obviously. And Arlene is the one that's already noticed this guy looking at them. She has already noticed this guy's looking at all of them. And this dude, it shows that he already has pictures in his cars of all these girls. So he has a camera, obviously, taking pictures of them. So all the girls, they end up in this bar, and you're gonna have a lot of things going on. You start off with the same three girls: Arlene, Jungle, Julia, and Shanna have already met up with some guys. The guys are gonna be Omar. Omar he has like some kind of gas station shirt that's supposed to be cool. He actually has Omar in his and a patch on his shirt. And then you have Nate. Nate looks like some gothic guy, or he looks like dressed gothic in a black shirt with some tattoos, not much. And then you got Dove, which is, you're not gonna know it's a tall guy named Dove, but they don't say his name during the movie, and you have to look at the credits or look it up like I had to do. Um, so they're all three hang at the bar, and they show Jungle Julia's dancing. She has really a lot of curly hair. She's tall. Jungle Julia's tall, by the way. It says that she's 6 foot, man, but she looks like she's 6'2" or 6'3", a giant of a woman. And she's dancing. She has long curly hair. She's dancing, going like this to some song, "Baby It's You," kind of. I mean, the song. Arlene is dancing with I forget his name. She's dancing with that guy. I'm trying to remember his name. It'll come to me in a little bit. Um, I just say his name a while ago. Dove, Omar, and, well, it'll come to me. Well, she's dancing with that guy. It's not Dove or Omar. It's the other one. And you have also Pam. Pam as a girl, is a pretty girl. She's dressed like a hippie, like Jungle Julia will mention. And Nate, I'm sorry, Nate is I remember Nate is the guy that's dancing with Arlene. They finish dancing and stuff. There's a jukebox there. Oh, anyways, and by the way, yeah, the bar is owned by Warren, which will come out in a little bit. The bar is all like wood and stuff. I've been to Austin, so I live in Texas, so a lot of these bars are just made out of wood or whatever. Small bar. So, anyways, there's a girl named Pam, like I was saying, dressed like a hippie. Um, Later on, we're gonna find out that she's just there. She's there by herself because her date stood her up, and she's ended up talking to stuntman Mike, which will be the guy that's stalking these women. So Pam's just talking to him and stuff, and they and what happens is Warren, uh, the bar owner, he's gonna vouch for that he knows stuntman Mike, and Pam is looking for a ride, so she's thinking this guy could take her, but she's kind of like, who's gonna vouch for this guy? Because I need a ride home, and because she's been stood up on a date, and Warren is vouching that he knows stuntman Mike. Kind of like I'm going out with a stranger, so I need someone to vouch for. Um, Other things are going on. Jungle Julia's texting this guy that obviously she loves. He's out of town, and she's gonna get disappointed with him. Jungle Julia is also waiting for Lena Frank. She's calling Lena Frank like, get your butt over here. They're supposed to meet up with her. Um, Dove and Omar, they seem like they just want to have sex with these girls. They're trying to get them drunk. They go to the bar and they start talking. They also make fun of behind his back. They make fun of Stuntman Mike, saying that he's stuck in the '80s kind of jokes. And then you got it's really cool because Warren, the bartender, he goes with a bottle. I think it's Wild Turkey or something, and he goes to all of them, all the whole group, the guys and the girls at one point, to like do shots. And the rule is, if Warren says that we do it, and Warren wants them to drink all those shots, I'm pretty sure for free, like compliments of the house kind of deal. So that was pretty cool. Um, then we have Arlene. She goes outside for a smoke, and then Nate goes meets up with her, and he's real funny. He's the guy that's dressed all in dark that I have problems remember his name. He goes to Arlene. He goes like he scares her, and then she's like, "You scared me." He came back behind her, and he tells Arlene, "I want to make out." all, all gay. No offense to gay people, but all weak, all acting like a little child. And Arlene's like, "You want to make out here?" And he's like, "No, let's make out in the car." And she says, "Okay, fine. We'll go to your car and make out, but make sure you kiss good and make sure my hair doesn't get wet." Oh yeah, it started raining outside. Would really gives a good feeling to to the film. And he has an umbrella packed, and it's red, and she's like, "If I were you, I wouldn't, make it let everybody know they get carrying around a red umbrella." And he's like, "Ha ha ha." So they go to the car and make out. They come back. Jungle and Julia knows that they went out to go make out and stuff like that. Arlene brings up the fact that there's a dirty hippie at the bar. You know what happened to her? So she knows. I don't know how, but she knows that Pam just got stood up. I didn't see any. You don't see anybody telling her, but maybe somebody told her and they just didn't show it. Um, Letha Frank finally arrives as these other girls are gonna party girls are gonna hang out, and Interesting enough, Lisa Frank, she hugs Pam, so obviously she knows Pam, nice big hug. And then Lisa Frank joins the other group, and so her two friends that join the group, and Jungle Julia's about time. Um, so they're there hanging out for a while, and then they all end up in the on the porch. All of them, the whole group, the guys, the three girls, the main girls, Lena Frank, and her two friends. They go out and they're smoking weed, and they go outside on the porch and go smoke weed. And then Stuntman Mike, sitting on a bench beside all of them, and he said he's talking to Jungle Judah, say, "Hey, I know you." And then Jungle Judah's, "Yeah, yeah," and he's like, "You come out on these billboards, right? Because you're a local DJ." Julia's a local DJ. And she's like, "Yeah." They introduce to each other. I'm Jungle Julia. I'm Stuntman Mike. And then she's like, "We're gonna continue to do our weed on you want to?" And he's like, "To all, no thanks." He's like, "Suit yourself." And then Stuntman Mike, they all freak out. I don't know why. He's like, and he goes, "That's nothing," and he leaves. And they're kind of like, to me, it's not all that. A guy needs to leave. You want to leave. To me, it's not a big deal. But they make a big deal. Like, giving looks like, what? What's wrong with this guy? He's crazy or something. Stuntman Mike goes to go talk with Pam. Then he comes back outside and he's about to give two drinks to Jungle Junior and Arlene. And Arlene and Jungle Julia before that were talking about they're gonna go to Shanna's lake house, daddy's lake house, Shanna Mana's daddy's lake house, and Jungle Julia apologizes about that joke she has put on Arlene, the thing about somebody saying those lines that they mentioned at Queros, the woods or something. And then Stuntman Mike pops up, and then that's when he actually gives them two bottles of alcohol, like just beers. Um, he gives them to Arlene, and he gives them to Julia, and they're like hugging each other, just hanging out in it. But Stuntman Mike gives them the two bottles, and he says the woods. Starts saying the lines, "The woods are dark and deeply. You got miles asleep, butterfly," something like that. And they're freaking out. Everybody's eyes are popped out. You can see Shanna's eyes are like, "Wow, it's this guy. He knows." And Stuntman Mike's like looking for that lap dance, talking to him, "Hey, kind of, don't you owe me a lap dance?" And they start saying some interesting lines. She's like, Arlene's like, "You're stalking us," and he's like, "No, I'm not stalking you," and stuff like this. Um, she's like, "I saw you at Quero's outside the bar." He's like, "I saw you too." And what ends up happening is Stuntman Mike says, "If you kind of like, if you don't do this lap dance for me, like you promised, since I know the lines," which he had heard from the radio, obviously. He goes, "If you don't give me that lap dance, I'm gonna have to put you in my book and label you as, excuse my language, label you as chicken shit." And then Arlene's like, "What if I did the lap dance for you?" And he's like, "Well, I couldn't call you a chicken shit, would I?" And she's like, she was like, "I have to give you a ring chicken on," but he's like, "No, you're gonna be a chicken shit if you don't do the lap dance for me." So she changes her mind. She's like, I'll give you the, get ready for your lap dance." And Stuntman Mike, he actually did show her the book of Labor Chicken, and he smells it kind of weirdly, and he takes off inside. And Jungle Julia's like, you know, couldn't it be a guy you could have effed? Why'd you have to pick that guy? Gonna do? She had mentioned at Queros, and Arlene's kind of has that look like, oh well. So Arlene goes inside the bar and gives Stuntman Mike sitting in the chair. Arlene starts giving the lap dance, very sexual. It's very, very, very good lap dance, I may mention. It is funny because she's in flip flops doing the lap dance. Because at one point she's crawling on the floor. She's walking her flip flop sandals, and the song is Honky Tonk in Mexico. And she's giving like again she's giving Stuntman Mike this the sexual sensual lap dance. And I do mention now I remember there's two twins that come out, and I won't mention them later, but they're just there in the background. It's hopefully I don't forget to mention them at the end. Um, so she finishes giving them the lap dance. They're all outside, and it shows that Pam is actually Pam and Stuntman. Oh, at least Pam is talking to Jungle Julia and Arlene. And Stuntman Mike is they're all outside. They're all obviously the bar's closed. And Stuntman Mike is like, "Are you ready to go?" And Pam is like, "Yeah." And it's a cool part. It's a cool part because she's like, uh, she starts leaving with Stuntman Mike, and Jungle Julia and Arlene are like, you know, we think you're gonna bang this guy, and then Pam is like, look, you double F's, I'm not going to F him, and then Stuntman Mike is back there. He's like, I can hear you, and then Pam's like, he's old enough to be my father, and he's like, I can still hear you, and she's like, bye. They're like, Arlene and Jungle Julia are like, bye bye. So she's about to leave with Stuntman Mike. She admires the skull in the front, and they're talking. And she's gonna enter the car, and it's weird because Stuntman Mike's car is divided in half by some barrier, and there's like some barrier plastic kind of glass kind of deal. The seat is real weird. The bottom is like it has a pipe, and then she has to put some metal thing for her to sit on top of the pipe. And he's telling her it's a crash car. And with a barrier, he makes a little joke. At least you don't have to worry about me putting my hand on your lap because there's a barrier there. So she ends up going with Stuntman Mike. Um, and with Jungle Julia, Arlene, Lena Frank, and Shanna Banana, they're gonna end up going in I think it's Shanna's car. They're gonna take up off in that car, and they're gonna head up to I think it's called LBJ, which is Shanna's daddy's lake house. I guess it's a cabin near a house, but they call it a lake house. So they take off. The red car takes off with all four of those girls in there, and then so Stuntman Mike takes Pam in the car to take her home. So Mike and Pam they get to an intersection, and then Stuntman Mike goes, "Where are you going, Pam? To right or left?" She goes, "To get you home is right." And then he says a line like, "Well, you should have been saying left because that's when you're immediately gonna start getting scared." And Mike peels out in the car. He instead of taking her right to her house, he goes left, and he's like taking off and fast. He's peeling out. He takes out really quick, and it which him peeling out real quick, going real quick, really fast in the car. Pam, that car doesn't have a seatbelt or anything. And she immediately hits the side, and she gets hurt. Stuntman Mike is driving really fast, and Pam is already like on the floor, like because he heard her going so fast and not warning or anything. And then he's going really fast down the street, both of them, and she do, Pam actually does something smart. She's already hurt, and she goes to the glass, and she goes, I know it's a joke. It's really funny, if you stop. But if you stop right now, um, let me go. Nothing will happen. Everything will fine. I won't tell. And And Stuntman Mike is like, he ends up, he's driving really fast. And after she gives those words of like, kind of let me go, trying to talk him out of it to let her go, so because she'd be safe and sound. He he stomps on the brake real quick, and which makes her hit like the windshield or something, and she comes back. She's all bloody, and she's like, she's suffering with all this like blood trying to come out of her mouth, and then she passes on. She dies. Then Stuntman Mike takes out the pictures he has of the three girls, or yeah, Shanna, Arlene, and Jungle Julia, and he throws them outside his car for I don't know what reason, and then he takes off. And now we're gonna see where Jungle Julia, Lena Frank, Arlene, and Shanna Banana are at. They're in the car. They're driving. It is nighttime. All this time is nighttime. I'm sorry, except for Cuero's. That's where it was daytime. And they're driving. Lena Frank is driving. Jungle Julia's in the passenger seat with one of her legs hanging out the window. Wow. Um, and you got Arlene and Shanna sitting in the back seat. Jungle Julia's on the phone, obviously talking to the DJ. She wants him to play some song. Played by, I don't even remember the name, but it's Dave D. and Titch, something like that. Dave D. and Titch, something like that. I don't have the names, but that's the name. And then Arlene's like, who the F are they? And Joe Julia's like, it's a band that Team Tim Townsend, something like that, from the Who. He was gonna join that band, but he did it. And then Jungle Julia's like, in my opinion, he should have, something along those lines. And then they played the song. It's a really cool song. The DJ played the radio on them. She played in the radio in the cars. The song. I love the song. It's like a rock song. Man, to me, it's like a catchy beat, and even kids that are or teens nowadays, they would probably like it. It has a good beat and everything. It's a little bit before my time, and I really like that song. They're driving, they're playing it, and they're all jamming to it and everything. You could see Shanna's like pretending she's playing the drums and stuff like that. Arlene's like kind of like in a while, like what? And then she starts getting into it. Lena Frank's driving, banging like this, and she really like the song. Jungle Julia's with her hair, with her foot out the window, enjoying the song. Wow, Stuntman Mike in his black Dodge Challenger, where I think it's a Dodge Challenger. He at night while they're driving, partying, he comes and he passes them, and he goes all the way in front, and then he turns his car around and it's aiming towards them, while the girls are jamming out in the car, and then he's spinning his wheels, just spinning, spinning, spinning. Stuntman Mike's wheels, while the girls get closer and closer. They're coming, and then they're still partying in the car, and Stuntman Mike's car is pointing at him, and then when they get closer, he puts on the lights, and he goes. Stuntman Mike goes full throttle in his car, and he hits their car, and it breaks up into scenes. The first scene is when he hits the car. Shanna Banana, she flies out of the car and lands on the street, which is gonna more likely instantly kill her. The other scene they show Lena Frank when she in impact from the impact of Slim Mike hitting them. Glass gets all over her face, so she's gonna be dead. And then Jungle Julia, since her leg out the window, that goes flying, disconnecting from her body, all bloody leg, lands on the street and everything, gruesomely. And then Arlene, I think she gets it pretty bad, probably the worst, because it shows that the car goes over their car. WMX car goes over their car, and it shows the tire going over her face, ripping her face apart, which is instantly going to kill her. And then Stuntman Mike's car just goes tumbling down the street, and they don't show what really happens to him there. So next, they're gonna show that they're at the they're at the hospital, and they're gonna show that Stuntman Mike is in the hospital bed. It looks like somebody from, I think, two people from the CIA, FBI, I don't know what. They're questioning him, and they're two law enforcement guys. They're questioning him, and then you see outside there's the Sheriff McGraw, and his son. They're outside, and they're like, what's trying to kind of investigate what's going on. Um, and McGraw has a whole story, and he knows some facts. I guess obviously he already talked to Stuntman Mike already, which they didn't show, but he says that the girls all had alcohol on them because they were drinking all at Cuervo's and Warren's bar, and Stuntman Mike didn't have not even an ounce of alcohol in them. So it looks like they're gonna, the girls look wrong because they were driving. They were all intoxicated, all drunk. Even Lena Frank, they were all doing weed as well. But McGraw thinks that Stuntman Mike killed them, but there's not really that much evidence to prove it. And interesting enough, the doctor that comes out, they call her Dr. Bob. I don't know why. And later on, I will explain that her name is Dakota, actually, in the credits. She's Dr. Dakota. But I'll explain later on after my review that she is really um, Sheriff McGraw's daughter, and she looks pissed. She looks mad. So that's the thing. I don't know why she's mad at McGraw. That's supposed to be her dad, but I will explain after the review. Um, but the thing is, the main thing is here is what is going to happen is that Sheriff McGraw's kind of like tells his son, I don't have any evidence on this guy. We can't get him, but I could surely, for damn sure, make sure he doesn't do this again in Texas. So it's gonna be that McGraw's gonna tell this guy, you need to get out of Texas. We don't want to deal with you anymore. I don't have evidence to get you, but you need to get out of here. And Dr. Bob, which he calls Dr. Bob Dakota, supposedly his daughter, walks out angrily. Why? I don't know, but we will get into that later. Now we're gonna start off with some new girls. There's some new girls that they're at a like a little 7-Eleven mart kind of deal, like convenience store, I guess you could say. And it's gonna start off with a girl named Kim talking with Lee, and they're talking about Lee having some, romantic thing, kissing a guy, making out with a guy, and that she knows. And they're just talking about Kim and Lee. Lee is dressed in a cheerleader's outfit. Why, I don't know. Kim, she's just dressed regular, and she's a stuntman. Then we also have Abernathy, which sometimes they call her short for. Well, they actually call her Abernathy all the time, but later on somebody will call her Abby. I guess you could call her Abby as well. And she's sleeping in the back. Now, Lee stops Kim from talking and says, "Why are we here?" And then Kim is like, "Well, we're gonna have to pick up Zoe. I'm gonna have to drink some coffee, get some coffee, whatever." So Kim is gonna go in the convenience store, and it's kind of weird because, well, I don't want to say weird, but she contradicts herself because She says, I'm gonna go get coffee to drive, but later on she says, he tells either Lee or Abernathy they're gonna drive. So I don't know if she changed her mind or whatever. That's just something I caught on to. Stuntman Mike is already starting to follow these girls, and he shows what happens first is he's outside. He's at the mart and he sees Abernathy with her feet outside. She's sleeping in the back, but her feet are outside the car. Stuntman Mike, weirdly enough, he gets near her feet and starts doing something with his finger and lifts his tongue near her to her feet, like he wants to lick her feet. Then he bumps into her. He touches her feet. Abernathy, really quick, gets startled, and she also doesn't help. She has a mask on while she's sleeping, and then Lee's like notices Abernathy gets startled, and what Stuntman Mike does, he pretends he had already thrown his keys further down on the pavement, and he pretends like, oh, where are my keys and all that, pretending that he just bumped in her feet when actually he was doing trying to do some nasty stuff to her feet. And Lee, the girl in the cheerleader outfit tells Abernathy, like, what happened? Oh, I'm sorry for. She thought her singing was startling Abernathy, but actually it wasn't, because Lee was singing to her iPod or whatever. And by the way, this scene, like most of the scene, is all in black and white color. Why, I don't know. But Abby's like, nah, I got startled. That guy bumped into my feet, which she didn't see none of the licking stuff, where she would really get freaked out. And then Stuntman Mike gets in his car. He's parked beside him, and he goes in reverse real quick. And they look at him. Lee and Abernathy are like, what's wrong with this guy? And then Lee goes like lunatic. I think she got that part from Austin Powers, even though I haven't seen Austin Powers that many times. But I don't remember that much about Austin Powers. That's just what I think. I think she's copying Mini-Me or something. I don't know. And then they see that Stuntman Mike down the road, he's on the street, and he takes out real quick, peeling off, and they look at him like, yeah, he's a lunatic. I guess Kim is still in the store. Abernathy gets out of the car. She puts on her cowboy boots in the front of the car. She goes inside. She says she's gonna hit. She tells Lee, I'm gonna go hit the ATM inside the store, get some money. Oddly enough, Lee goes to, I think it's a Big Red, the Coke, like a Coke machine, and she buys a Coke, and when she puts the money in and the Coke comes out, from the color of the screen, black and white of the film, it turns into color. I don't even know what Quentin Tarantino's doing. I guess it's kind of cool. It's just kind of weird, because I'm kind of a person like, why did that happen? I think most of y'all too. Some of you won't care, but it was like, I don't know why he did that. But I guess that's cool. I don't know. It's just kind of why the color of the scene changed at that time. Why? Anyways, so Abernathy goes inside, and Lee had called her from her phone from outside. Why don't you just go inside and talk to her? But Lee calls her from the outside. And Abernathy's phone has an interesting phone ring and I don't want to get into that. If I remember I'll bring it up. It's interesting. And you're gonna see that Abernathy gets a magazine, and they're looking for a photo in a magazine that Lee came out in. She's like, there you are. And I'm glad I remembered this part. They show Lee is in the photo in the magazine, and she looks cockeyed. Lee's a beautiful girl. She really is, but and I think she's tall too. And she comes out cockeyed, like her eyes, one eye's going this way and one's going that way. I'm like, man, you just ruined your persona, man. The way you look. That's a horrible picture to be put in that magazine. I mean, the photographer that photographed Lee in that should be fired instantly. She looks cockeyed in that picture. Go look at it if you've seen the film. Um, so this get to me is mystery. Why do you put a horrible picture of yourself in the magazine where you look cockeyed? And it kind of, in a way, it kind of gets worse. At this point, I don't even know where Kim is, but I think she's still in the store somewhere. And then Abernathy goes to pay for that magazine. They're gonna purchase that magazine that has Lee in it. And then the guy at the cash register is like, she pays for it, and he's like, "Have a nice day." And then the cashier, interesting enough, whispers, "Hey, I got other magazines on the side or something like that." And then Abernathy's like, she paid for magazines, and from what he said, he's like, "That's okay." She's about to walk out, and then the cashier yells at her and says, not yells at her, but says in a loud voice, "I got Italian. This issues Italian Vogue." And Abernathy looks back like interested, like, "Is it this month's?" And then it shows that Abernathy has gone outside to talk to Lee and tells her, "We're gonna buy this magazine." And then Lee's like, "This clerk has this rare magazine. Where would they get Italian Vogue here in the middle of Tennessee? I'm sorry if I didn't tell you they're in Tennessee." And Abby's like, "Who cares how he got the magazine? It's his own personal copy. We're gonna buy it." And then I do remember Lee saying, "How about Kim? Does Kim want in on this?" And Abernathy like, "Kim doesn't care about this, but I have some friends." They mentioned some names. I don't remember their names. That will get on this. And then Lee's like, "Well, we got to make sure we do this right." To tell you the truth, I don't know what they're talking about. I think that just what I think is that they're gonna try to make copies of these pictures and make a lot of money off them some way. This is the thing that baffles me too. Sometimes there's a lot of questions to this film. So they're doing their little negotiations, and the guy's gonna sell it for $27, and Abernathy says she's gonna buy it. Okay. After that, they go pick up Zoe at the airport. Show them at the airport, and they're all walking outside. Looks like in the parking lot too. They're gonna walk to Kim's car. Stuntman Mike is there taking pictures of all of them, and they're doing some interesting stuff. They're just joking around, but Lee, I think she's tall. Not that it matters, but she is a tall, beautiful girl. And cheerleader outfit. She putting her toes like a ballerina, dancing like a ballerina. Zoe gets on the floor and then does some. She puts her hands on where her body's and her legs are in the air. And they're in Abernathy's trying to act all sexy and stuff like that. Kim doesn't have any of that in her except she's a stunt woman, I guess. And then, like I said, Stuntman Mike is taking photos of them and stuff outside his car and stuff from a distance, focusing on them where they don't see him. Then we have, they go, all of them are in Kim's car, all the girls, and they're just talking about random stuff. I love the way they talk though. I just can't go through it, all of it. I wish I could. I don't have that much time. But they're talking stuff. Like for example, Zoe's talking about excuse me for saying this, but she's like dick department. That means like what guys are dating. Lee talks about she's dating some guy that looks like The Rock, and Abernathy talks about she's dating like a director called Cecil, and like she thinks that guy just using her for sex, and that guy they're going out, but that guy effed another girl on her birthday. And they're like, Zoe's like, how do you know how did he know he knew it was your birthday? He ate a piece of my cake and I don't know what did him a tape. And he's like, oh, he made you a tape. I guess it's a sexy dance tape. I don't know, a mixtape. I don't know what. But they were all like, oh, cool. Um, though they are picking it on Abernathy at this time, and Abernathy said that that something Hamill, some actresses stand in. That's who Cecil is effing, and it's like Zoe's like, what have you done with this guy Cecil? He's like, oh, I let him give me a foot massage and I let him hold my hand. And then Kim says, some I don't know what utopia you're in, but you know, you're acting like you're a 15-year-old girl, like kind of like give up the goods, man. She's like, you gotta claim. I can't say that part, but you're gonna claim this guy. You gotta claim this guy. She used a word we can't use, but and he's like, you gotta start. You're gonna claim this guy. You gotta claim him. And what you could do is give this guy a hand job on the back of a van on Tuesday night, something like that. I like that part. They are so funny. And Zoe's laughing and saying that Abernathy's like, I didn't think my sex life was on the table here. And then Zoe's like, your life's not on the table, but something Hamill's sex life is. The girl that's banging Cecil's, they're like laughing, haha. And I like when Abernathy says, she's like, F you and your little high five, because when they're making fun of her, Kim and Zoe give a little high five kind of deal. That's just a lot of cool talk in there, man. And they're awesome. Then they end up in a restaurant. They're eating breakfast at a restaurant, and they're talking about certain things. And these little things, man, they just talk so cool. They're awesome. I love them. I was supposed to say I love them at the end of the review, but I can't. I'm sorry. I love this. So I just have to say it. They say certain stories at the at this restaurant where they're eating breakfast. They get into Zoe wants to know if Kim is still carrying a gun. Her gun is called Roscoe. What they talk about. Abernathy talks about her famous story where Zoe, they're in, I don't know, Australia or New Zealand or something, and they're doing a movie shoot, but I guess they're on break, and Zoe wants to take a picture of Abernathy. Abernathy says a story where Zoe almost killed her or harmed her because Abby's going, Zoe, for the the personal picture she wants to take of her with her camera, tells Abernathy, go a little further, a little further, a little further. Hey, I could do the accent. And not bad for me being Hispanic, huh? Yeah, I'm Hispanic, just so you know. Yeah, I should say a little further, and then Abernathy almost falls into a ditch. She says a concrete ditch, and Abernathy's like, if I fell in that thing, God only knows how many bottles and rats are in there and stuff like that. They would have to helicopter me out of there. And then that Abernathy says, but Zoe's the one that was messing around and that whatever. And Abernathy fell into a ditch, but she lands on her feet like a cat. And Kim was saying the most important part of that story is that Abernathy, you didn't fall in the ditch. Zoe did. I mean, it's a really funny story, and I like that part where Abernathy says, I almost died in that ditch, and all the girls start laughing and stuff like that. And the funny part is Lee asks Zoe where she's from. She's either New Zealand or Australian. She asks her, hey, where are you from? Where's your home, Australia? And then Kim says, never call a Kiwi an Aussie unless you want to get your ass kicked. And then Lee's like, I'm sorry. And then so he's like, we're just messing around with you. And they all start laughing. Lee thinks that Zoe's gonna kick her butt. Then it turns out, Kim asks Zoe, what do you want to do while you're here in the United States? And oh, it's funny. I'm sorry. Zoe says I'm from Oakland. Oakland. It's just a joke. She's obviously. They tell she's obviously from Australia or New Zealand, but I believe Kim does lets the cat out of the bag and says that Zoe's actually from New Zealand. Okay, but anyways, going back to Zoe and Kim. Kim asks Zoe, "What do you want to do here while you're in the states? You're visiting the states." And Zoe says, like she's been actually been following this newspaper in the area they're at. It's kind of weird, I know, but that's what she's doing. And she says that she wants to drive a muscle car here in the United States because they don't have that many muscle cars in Australia or New Zealand. And she's just talking super cool. Zoe. Oh my gosh, she's so awesome. And Kim is like interrupted her, and Zoe goes, "Well, pipe down, and I'll tell you what I've been doing with this newspaper." And she says that she found out that this guy is selling a white Dodge Challenger with a something engine, I don't know what. And and they're like, "How did you find this car over here, like this in this area?" She's like, "Well, yeah, I've been reading the paper and I found out this guy's selling it." So all the girls, oh yeah, well Zoe says that they're like one of the girls asked her, maybe Kim, do you want to buy it? And she's like, "No, I wanna, I just want to borrow. I want to drive it. I want to drive a muscle car." So that's where they're gonna go. All four girls are actually gonna go look for this mechanic, and so Zoe can drive this Challenger. And she actually says that there's a drive-in that shows these movies, and one is Vanishing Point. They're gonna say it several times. Vanishing Point. It's a car movie, I assume, and that's why she wants to drive the Dodge Challenger from all these American movies she's seen back in her home of New Zealand. So they are gonna go track down this mechanic, all four girls, and they do, and they go out in the boonies, and they honk their horn in Kim's car, and this mechanic called Jasper comes out, and he's like, "What do you girls want?" And Kim and Zoe go talk to him, and they're like, "We wanna, can we test drive your car and all this stuff?" And they talk about it, and Jasper's like, "Okay," and then Zoe's like, "Let me talk to my associate." And you excuse for a while, so she's gonna talk to Kim by herself as her associate. And Kim's like, "What's up, Zoe?" And then Zoe's like, "Hey, before I take this car out, I want to know, um, I need to ask you something first." And Kim's like, "What's up? What do you want to ask me?" And then Zoe says, "I wanna play ship's mast. I think it's ship master or ship master, but I think it's ship mast, which I didn't know at the time. The first time I saw this, and so this mysterious thing she wants to do, and then Kim's like, "Hell no, I don't want to do that." And then she's like, to make a long story short, like Zoe's like, "Please," and Kim's like, "It takes two plays to play ship master, and I'm playing." And then Zoe's like, "I'll be your best friend. You know, I'll crack your back." Uh, and and Kim's like, "You crack my back. You moisturize my butt after I take a shower or whatever." And like, deal, deal. And it's funny because also Zoe before said in also that conversation, like, it's kind of, we don't want to be yelling up about this stuff in front of this guy. We're trying to con this guy. So Kim is gonna play this game, which obviously involving the car with Zoe, but they need to go tell Abernathy what's going on. They go tell Abernathy what's going on, and they're like, "We're gonna do something with this car, and you need to stay with Lee for collateral for us to take out the car. He's not gonna let us all take off in the car because they think we're stealing it." And Abby says, "What? You're not letting me hang out with you guys, the cool kids? So what do y'all gonna do that's so uncool that I can't do whatever?" And they're like, Abernathy's like, you're gonna drive it really fast." And they're like, we're doing more than that. And Abby's like, well, you gonna do this or that? We're like, we're doing more than that. And Abernathy's like, you know what? Lee is enough collateral. We'll leave Lee with this guy, and I will go I'll make you a deal. Abernathy tells both the girls that if you take me along, I'll let this guy. I'll convince this guy to let you take the car out. Yeah, because they were like, how are we gonna convince this guy? And Aber said, I'll convince him to let you take the car out. And they're like, how are you gonna do that? And he's like, I think, are you gonna put him in trouble? You're gonna blow him? And then Abernathy's like, no, I'm gonna insinuate Lee's gonna blow him. And they start all laughing and all that. And then, so they're like, do your magic. But Kim's like, if you convince this guy to let us take the car out, you're not gonna say crap. You're not gonna say whatever. You're just gonna keep your mouth shut. If you want to hang out with the cool kids, you're gonna keep your mouth shut. And if not, we're just gonna drop you on the side of the road and pick you up later. She's like, deal, deal. So Abernathy goes talk to Jasper, which is kind of funny too, because she goes up to Jasper, says hi. She goes, "What's your name?" She asks him mechanic, and he goes, "I'm Jasper. My name's Jasper." And then and then Abernathy goes, "My name is Abernathy." And then the mechanic's like, "What kind of name is Abernathy?" And she's like, "Just call me Abby." And then Abby says, "Well, those girls over there, or whatever, or they want to take out the car." And then Jasper goes, "What, the color girl?" I don't know why it sounds funny. The color girl. And then Abernathy goes, "Yes, Kim is that girl of color." I guess it's just cute the way she's talking, way it sounds funny. Her talking to Jasper. I love this movie. I shouldn't have said it, but I can't help myself. I do. I usually say if I like or love me in the end of a review, but I can't help it. I love it. So how does it? Let's see if I remember. Abernathy's like, "Can you let us take out the car to see, so we can see our friend wants to buy it or not?" And he's like, Jasper's like, why would I do that? You all would probably just steal the car. And then like Abernathy, see if I remember, Abernathy goes, for one, that would be rude. Why we wouldn't do that? One, it would be rude. Two, we're staying at we are not thieves, something like that. Three, we're staying at the Days Inn hotel. Zoe's not staying there, but we all are. And that's all I remember. I'm trying to remember it was like 3 or 4 points or something. I remember most of them though. Oh yeah, the fourth one. There is four. What's the fourth one? And they go, the other reason we'll let us take the car out is we'll leave you with our friend Lee. That they showed Lee's in her cheerleader outfit, like sleeping outside a shed, sitting on a chair. And then Jasper like, oh, like kind of like, wow, like she's hot. Well, like we don't know what that really means, but he's really into her. We know that for sure. But he asked, why she look familiar? And then Abernathy says takes out her magazine, says because she is a model or something like that. And also, no, it's like she does show the picture of Lee, but she goes, oh yeah. Then Jasper the mechanic asks, why she looks familiar. Why is she in a cheerleader outfit? And then Abernathy says, because they're making a movie. And then Jasper says, like a porno. And then Abernathy's like, yes, that kind of movie. But don't tell her because she's shy. I love that part. So they all end up going in the car. Kim's in the driver's seat. Zoe's in passenger seat. I'm sorry, not Lee. Abernathy's actually in the back seat, and Lee's still in the chair. They wake up Lee. They yell at her, "Hey, Lee, we'll see you later." And Lee looks at him, in the car taking off. They're gonna take off, and then she looks at. She's gonna. Oh yeah, and then Abernathy's. I don't know which one is. They're like, Jasper meet Lee. Lee meet Jasper. And then Lee looks at Jasper like, gulp. She's scared with And this guy Jasper, I'm sorry, he's tall, he's huge, so that's why she goes gold. So all three girls take off in the car. Kim, Zoe, and Abernathy. They end up in this road in the middle of nowhere, all three of them, in Jasper's white car, the white Dodge Challenger. And then they stop in the middle of the road. Kim and Zoe, they get out, and they're like, have a bag, and it's like they're gonna do something. They're gonna play shipmate, whatever that is. And then it's funny because Zoe gets a jacket out of the bag, and then Kim's like, I want the jacket. And then Zoe's like, I'm the one that's gonna be on top of it. Whatever. Here, she gives him a jacket. And Kim's like, weren't you the one that's supposed to put cream in my butt and all that? So like, Kim has her. Gets to control her. Zoe just puts on gloves and they get back in the car. They start going fast, and in the car they're going fast, driving fast, and then Abernathy starts complaining that she needs to go urinate, and what else? She got to go pee, and then she got to that for can they roll up the windows? Or like no, so they start driving fast. And oh, by the way, they got Abernathy's belt. I like that part too because before they start driving fast and taking off, they're like, "We need another belt." Zoe and Kim were like that in the middle of the road, and then Kim's like, "Oh yeah, I'll take off my belt." And then she's like, "No, this belt is to make cute shit." Excuse my language. And I like she's like, "Get Abernathy's belt." So he's like, give me your belt. And then they get, and then Abernathy, Kim is like, tells Abernathy, give Zoe your belt, or something like that. And then Abernathy says, say pretty please, bitch. And Abernathy's mad, she's whining. She's going, Kim, don't think I'm gonna do your hair when you ask me to do your help. And then Kim's like, yeah, you're gonna do it. And then Abernathy's like, you're not that hard, whatever. Well, they're complaining. Well, let's get to now they're going fast, all three of them in the car. They're going off fast in the car. Like I said, Abernathy's still whining. I roll up the windows. They're like, no. And then Zoe's like, Abernathy, check this out. And then Zoe proceeds to go on top of the hood, and they have tied both belts to the top of the car. Kim and Zoe did. And then now Zoe's sitting on the hood of the car and holding on to the belts not to fall while Kim is driving super fast. And Zoe pounds on the hood, and Kim's like, what's that? It's some kind of signal they're gonna do. And then Zoe starts laying on top of the hood of the car while they're going super fast. They have to safe to say going over 100 miles an hour, going as fast as they can. And they're driving fast, and Kim says, Abernathy, get up here. Abernathy goes in the passenger seat, and she's smiling like that. This is really cool. And then Zoe's like, go faster. And then so Kim goes as fast as he can. And the scary thing is now you see Stuntman Mike from a distance looking at binoculars outside his car. Then the girls are having a good time what they're doing, playing Shipmate with Zoe on top of the car holding on the belts. But then I think one of the girls, I don't think it's Abernathy or is it Kim? I don't know. Looking outside, they do notice that now Stuntman Mike is behind their car and ends up hitting them. And then I believe Zoe loses control of one belt because when Stuntman Mike hits the car. So now it's going to be a whole car chase going on. And Stuntman Mike is still hitting them. And at one point, I think he even gets beside them, starts mocking them and stuff like that. And the girls are yelling, like, get away, get away. It's funny because Zoe, I don't know, I guess she's very desperate. She tries to kick at Stuntman Mike's car when he gets beside theirs, when he's mocking them. The girls are just saying a whole bunch of bad things. Then Mike is trying to kill him with a car, I would think. Excuse me. Zoe starts telling Kim, "Oh, I'm scared," and she had called him up. She had called Zoe. I'm not gonna say a racist slur, but she had called Kim a racial slur, and not. I know she didn't mean it because they're friends, but she apologized. I think she's very apologizing for everything because she's very scared being on the hood of the car. Zoe had, while the chase is going, Zoe has now lost. She she has she does not have access to both belts. She's hanging on by herself. At one point, she she is holding on to the front of the car, which is scary, and they're still driving super fast because Maniac's beside them. I think at one point they lose them for a little bit, but Stuntman Mike gets on them, and then something happens at the end of this chase where the girl's car, they had to they had to stop immediately or something, and then Zoe goes flying off the hood of the car, and then Stuntman Mike from a distance, I would say maybe 50, well, 25 yards away, 30 yards maybe. He stops the car and gets off and goes. He gets out of the car standing, goes adios. Kim gets out of the car, takes out her gun, Roscoe, and starts shooting at Stuntman Mike and shoots him right here, I believe, in the arm. Stuntman Mike goes because he's gotten shot by Kim. Stuntman Mike goes in his car and he takes off. And I'm sorry if I didn't mention Stuntman Mike's car is black with that skull. I know I mentioned the skull, but the color. And the girls are in the white Challenger. Abernathy and Kim are shocked, and Kim is actually has tears coming out. She's crying. She looks so tough and everything. The way she's like, she's actually crying with tears coming out. She's not crying honestly, but she has tears coming out. And they're looking to see where it happened to Zoe. Abernathy and Kim are looking, and they're like, "Was Zoe okay?" Or I think they think Zoe died, but then Zoe jumps up from the bushes. She had landed some bushes. She jumps up. I'm okay. Zoe comes. Zoe comes in. I'm sure Zoe was crying. They don't show it too much when she was in the air because she was afraid. Right now she's not crying. She's all smiling and everything because she's a little bit of a maniac herself. And then Zoe comes to the outside the passenger of the car. She goes, "So who's the crazy guy or something like that?" And they're like, so they're like, "We don't know." Give me that, Abernathy. And Zoe's like, "You want to get this guy?" And they're like, and then Kim's like, "Hell yeah!" I kind of like thought she may say no, but for some reason they're like, "Hell yeah!" And then Kim tells, so they decided they're gonna go after Stuntman Mike. Kim tells, um, Abernathy. By the way, Abernathy's a mom, and they go, "You might want to get out." That's why they want her to get out. And then Abernathy's like F that. Let's go after him. So Kim says, "Okay." Abernathy, get in the back seat, and we're gonna take off. And so they're gonna take off. Now, interesting enough, I cannot forget this part. Freaking, because I do this freestyle. Freaking Zoe, when she doesn't get in the car. She puts one foot inside the passenger seat of the car and another one outside, like the car's a horse. And she has gotten a pipe too. She got a pipe out there in the boonies somewhere. She got a pipe. She's gonna try to inflict pain on this guy. So when they drive off, they drive off fast. They need to catch up Stuntman Mike because they want revenge and get him. Once again, Zoe takes off one foot in the passenger seat and one out. Like it's a car. The car's a horse. Like she's riding a horse, but she's riding a car. It looks really cool, and she has her hand in the air with a pipe and everything. She picked up to go try to get this guy. So this is one of my favorite parts. Stuntman Mike has evaded him, and he parks somewhere, and then he goes in a glove compartment. He's crying because remember Kim shot him in the arm, and then he out of the glove compartment he takes out a bottle of Wild Turkey, the alcohol, which he's gonna pour alcohol in his arm. And he goes, who pours? He's doing that to try to kill the infection, so it will be okay. If you get infected, a wound infected, you're screwed, especially with a big infection like that of a gunshot wound. And he's crying, no, 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 no. Man, for a murdering kind of guy, he's actually acting like a wuss. And he's crying, like, look, look. It's funny. It's hilarious. And so he's there parked, and he's trying to tend his wound, and then the girls with a white Dodge Challenger, they hit him from behind the car really hard, and his car goes moving even though it was parked. Zoe gets out of the car, gets the pipe, starts hitting the side of his arm. I'm looking for a prop. Zoe starts hitting his arm, the side of his arm right here. Boom, 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 and making it, and so his arm is all more red with blood and everything. He's like, he dries off, and then the girls pick up Zoe and they take off after him, which leads to a car chase. And they're chasing him, and then the girls they go beside him and they start mocking him, and he's like, Stomach Mike is like, I was just playing, and I was just playing, and then the girls are like, oh no, we're just playing with you. It leads to a big car chase. Then they it's funny because he's crying the whole time, I was just playing, I was just playing. There's a big car chase going on. At one point, he loses them and stuff like that. And there's just a lot of car chasing, hitting cars, or hitting the car, or banging his car to the side like that. And then they end up in traffic. They have to consider traffic not hitting anybody. And then they at one point, their car chase makes this guy flap a motorcycle, and he hits the side of a wall or something like that, a wooden wall. There's some cars that are swerving and all that. They're in traffic. Now they get out of traffic. Now they're back in the boonies. The car chase continues. And then at one point he loses them. But Kim is going up this little hill. And she's like, please don't dead end. Please dead end. She's afraid it's going to dead end. They're going to hit something because they're going super fast. They don't know the area. And then Stuntman Mike's like, thank goodness and thank God that I lost him. And he's like, I kind of lost him. He's kind of relieved a little bit. And then they show up on the side of the hill, whatever, they're right beside him. And then they hit the back of his car, and he crashes. He crashes. His car flips over and stuff like that. And then all three girls get out of the car. Stuntman Mike is hanging out of his car, and like the car's badly damaged. He's been in this accident and stuff, and he's hanging out of the car like The girls take him out of the car. He's like, watch. I don't know. It's like, watch my arm, watch my leg. They stand him up, and they all start hitting him. They all get around him. They start hitting him. Boom, boom, boom. They keep hitting him hard, really hard. Calling him obscenities, calling him an a-hole and all this stuff. They're all mad. And then Zoe does a spinning kick and hits him in the head, knocks him down. He falls down. And then Abernathy, and the credits already started, like the film is ending. Abernathy gets beside him and does an axe kick to his head while he's laying on the floor, and instantly kills Stuntman Mike. Then the credits come out, and I'm glad I remembered this. The credits, I wonder, I'm just a curious cat. I wonder, there's these pictures that come out in the credits or whatever, and it's of women I don't see in there. Maybe they're photos of them, their families and stuff like that. I don't know. There is a picture where Arlene is outside a car, outside the red car. I guess it was maybe Shannon Banana's car, and she's smiling and stuff from the credits. There's a scene in a bar. I think it's Arlene, but I'm not sure. And I notice these things because I like this movie so much. I want to know everything. It drives me nuts, but I like this. And that's all I remember. But the pictures look like, at one point there's a picture of a mannequin. There are pictures of other females. It looks like in the 60s, whatever. I want to know what those pictures have to do with the film, but I'm too scared to go look at the like special scenes or whatever behind the scenes stuff because I kind of don't like doing that because sometimes it turns me off about a film, especially if I like it. That's just my pet peeve. Okay, but that was the end of the film, and there's those weird things in the credits. There's so much like I can say about this, and I don't want to how I say it. There's just so much to go over, you know. And I was supposed to do this a 20-minute review. I'm already at a minute 15. My afterthoughts about this film. I'm not gonna remember everything. I wish I could, but I'm gonna just say what I can't remember right now. The phone when when they're at the convenience store, that's where we're gonna go. Where Lee calls Abernathy on her phone. The special ringtone I was talking about is the whistling sound from Kill Bill. That was interesting. All these movies are getting connected by little things like that. Not really connected like it influences the film, but no, like little parts of little things from other films. Um, that was one. Okay, I remember. I promised to bring up that. The other one is very interesting. Is the hospital. Sheriff McGraw when it, when Arlene, Jungle Junior, Shanna Banana, and Lena Frank are killed by Stuntman Mike. They go to they don't show them in the hospital, but the hospital scene because Stuntman Mike is there. You got the two sheriffs outside talking about the case when Stuntman Mike killed those girls. And Sheriff McGraw comes out, and his son, I don't know, I guess, the son does not come in out in the movies, but Sheriff McGraw comes out, and from Dusk Till Dawn Part 1, oh my gosh, one of my top two favorite movies. Sheriff McGraw comes out in Planet Terror. Now, this movie came out with, I don't know what they called it, The Grindhouse. The Grindhouse. The Grindhouse, because this came out with Planet Terror. It has similarities. McGraw comes out in Planet Terror as well. And he comes out in a lot of Quentin's films. Pam, the hippie that got killed, the first victim of Stuntman Mike, she comes on Planet Terror as the girl with the gun connected to her leg. She's a heroine of Planet Terror, and it kind of baffles me if I want to try to connect them to. Is like, how is she such a badass, but she can't? She's killing zombies, I guess we call them in Planet Terror, and very powerful. She's a heroine, and then she over here she gets killed by a simple stuntman. And her name was Cherry Blossom, I think. Okay, I remember. Good thing I remembered this. Dakota, the doctor that comes out in the hospital, she talks to the sheriffs. She is Doctor Dakota, I think they call her in the credits, but they call her Doctor Bob. Sheriff McGraw calls him Doctor Bob. Why, I don't know, and why the one thing I have to question. She looks mad. She does tell Sheriff McGraw what happened to Stuntman Mike, what injuries she has, whatever, where she could. She didn't say much, just the injuries. Why is she mad? Now, in Planet Terror, I shouldn't ask that because she is mad at McGraw, whatever, because in Planet Terror, Dr. Dakota, she is married to some other doctor that her dad doesn't approve of. And you could tell there's friction between her and her dad because she married this doctor that turns out to be a jerk or an a-hole in Planet Terror. So these are questions I don't know. Maybe I have to see a review by Quentin Tarantino so he can explain some of this stuff. But my question to you guys, put in the comments if you think this mystery stuff that we don't know the movie is it good or bad. I think, maybe the mystery is good. It just keeps us thinking and thinking about the movie, Yeah, I would like to. I would like to see a director talk about stuff like that. Why do they leave mysteries unsolved in a film? Now, the other thing, the main thing, and good thing this is the main one. I think. Why is Stuntman Mike killing these people? Why did he kill Pam? Why did he? Why did he kill the four? Why did he kill? In that car accident, he killed not just one person. He killed also that night. In the other accident, he killed. Okay, first accident he killed Pam, right? And then the other accident he kills Lena Frank, Jungle Julia, Shannon Banana, and Arlene. Why is he killing these girls? Sharon McGraw, and why is he messing around with the other three girls? Why is he messing around with Abernathy, Zoe, and Kim? Why is he doing this? The only thing is they did give Sharon McGraw gives like his theory on it. He thinks that this guy has some kind of female fetish and he wants to kill women. And there's so much questions in this. That's all I can remember. But this movie, I'm glad I remember to say this, but it's like I want to get more into it. Like for example, like I love every part of this movie. You know, some parts may be a little questionable, but I love it too. The you know, and like for example, I would want to see where Warren, the bartender, his house where he lives. I mean, it's crazy. I'm getting obsessed with this movie. I really like it. I like it. I love it very much. I want to say that every time they talk like cool people. All girls, everybody, they talk cool. This movie was made like the way people talk, the terminology, the words they use. This movie was made like 15 to 20 years ago. And to today's day, the way they talk is super cool. Sometimes you can say, oh, the way those words and from those terminology from the 60s or 50s, that's old. That's not in anymore. You know, you can't use it nowadays. Well, that movie was done 20 years ago. And the way, my opinion to this day, the way they talk, it's acceptable. It's still cool. It's an action-packed movie. And I just can't say it enough times, man. They talk awesome, cool. They're smart. The one they made look dumb sometimes is they made Lee look dumb. The cheerleader. Why is she dressed like a cheerleader? Is it really for a movie? I would think so, maybe, but they don't say it for sure. Abernathy says she dressed like that for a movie, but I don't know if she could have been joking. You know, some people joking. I don't know. But you know, if I wasn't so busy, I'd be watching this movie more. I'm just busy because I have like 6 channels. But I really love this movie. I don't. The other guys, what happened to Nate? What happened to Omar? They probably just went home. Dove. I really need to end the review because I've already went so long. Nobody's gonna be watching this from now, unless you're really. If you're still watching me, it's because you really love the movie like I do. Let me try to end it, but let me end it with saying, again, the girls talk really cool. If you like action movies and car chases, this definitely is a movie for you. I don't even like car chases that much for some reason. I like jets and spaceship. I'm more spacey, but the car scenes are excellent. And that's because I'm not even too into car chases. The way they talk, the two of the girls and everybody, it's very real. It's very real. It's not like they're acting like 17th century. Oh, can I have that grape pond? And all. No, they're talking like us. They're talking like us. That makes it very believable. And they're talking super cool. All the girls are cool. Every single girl came out cool. Lena Frank, she would have probably looked a little prettier. She had longer hair, but she has short hair. Remember her? She's a short hair blonde. Have you seen it? Stuntman Mike. I can't remember his name. Is it Kurt Russell or Kurt Douglas? I want to mention his name, but I keep forgetting. It should say in the back, Kurt Russell. He does an excellent job playing Stuntman Mike. The girls do a good job. Everybody does a good job. The movie's so believable. If you have not seen this movie, go see it. Go see it. And if you already seen it and you're like kind of obsessed with it like I am, I don't want to say obsessed because it sounds bad, but if you really, really like this movie like I am, where you can see it a lot of times, I'm hoping you're enjoying this. Car chases are good. Good acting. It makes it so realistic and it's so cool. I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. There's a lot of other stuff I probably mentioned. I'm thinking of doing. I will. I definitely want to do a re-review of this movie. I definitely want to break it down. Maybe I could break it down by characters. And I'm gonna go ahead and start ending this because I could go forever talking about this. If you don't like, if you don't like foul language, if you don't like action, car scenes, like this movie's not for you. But if you're a badass like me that likes badass stuff and likes car chases and likes good acting and cool girls and the way they talk, really cool and all that, go watch this film. All right, I'm gonna have to get up on out here because I'm already getting close to a minute, an hour and a half. I want to say I love this movie. I strongly recommend you see this movie. If you have not seen it, and if you already seen it and you enjoy me talking about it, you know, I'm glad. I make this entertaining for you. That's the way I got started. I saw a movie and I was like, well, that movie kind of stinks or whatever. I need someone else's opinion. You know, that's the way it goes sometimes. We want to hear somebody's opinion sometimes. Some people don't. Some people do. I do. So go watch this movie, man. Go watch it. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because I'll babble on forever. My name's A Destroyer 48. This completes my review of Death Proof, and I'm gonna leave you with this. The world will never be a perfect place, but we can all make it better. Until next time, I will see you in the next one. Bye.